think with the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way back the baby to sleep.
Until morning. Ewing.
Oh, wow.
He's going to try and get one more shot off the air. Push the buzzer.
How about that?
Steps over to Ron Lewis. He thought about three. He'll put up a three.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Boom Broadcasting presents 3 from D. I'm your host, Jason Calenzo. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you for joining me here today. I'm going to get into some NBA talk. I love it. We're a week closer to the NBA season. Not a huge week in the NBA, but we had another big sale. Another NBA team sold. We'll talk about that here in a second. We had the schedule release because guys, you know, they play basketball and they like doing this little schedule party to kind of do some key dates, and we'll talk about some of that stuff here. And then we're going to finish our divisional talk. We're going to talk about that Southwest division and kind of break that down a little bit and see who's going to be at the top and who's going to be at the bottom of that division. So without further ado, guys, thank you very much for joining me again. I'm Jason Calenzo. This is 3 from Deep. You are on the Boom Broadcasting Network on the YouTube channel. If you've not had a chance yet, please do so. Like and subscribe. Hit that button for notifications. We do tape podcasts. We do live podcasts. We do all kinds of different podcasts. So whether it's sports, entertainment, wrestling, etc., you name it, we got it here on the Boom Broadcasting Network. And guys, it is all on demand, so you can watch it at any time once it drops. And it's all free. Not a lot of free stuff left in the world, man. So come check us out. Stop by. Any comments, questions, concerns? Guys, don't be afraid to hit me up and shoot me a message. I would love to hear from you. If there's something you want to hear on the show, let me know. If you got a question you want posed on the show, let me know what you got. Heck, if you want to be on the show and you do podcasts out there and you're not afraid to get on here with your boy NY, hit me a message, man. I'd love to have you on the podcast. I do guests, so I would not be afraid to have someone on here and talk a little NBA action here. So, man, I love it. Thank you guys very much. Let's get into this here. Man, we had another huge NBA sale, our third sale of this year. First, we had the Celtics. Then we had the Lakers. Now we got the Blazers. Portland Trail Blazers, the $1 billion Blazers, sold for $4 billion over this past week. My man Tom Dundon, him and his group, he owns the Carolina Hurricanes, which is really interesting. Carolina Hurricanes, because I know Phil Knight was in the mix, being a Portland native, but he ended up bowing out. Phil Knight, as you guys probably know or don't, if you don't know, the guru of Nike. But according to this new ownership group, they want to keep the team in Portland. I know the NBA likes to expand. I know there's a lot going on with the European market, and there's a European league that's going to be starting here pretty soon. You know, the NBA loves to, spread its wings, get more eyeballs watching. But this was a pretty interesting sale, man. 1988 bought for $70 million, now valued over $4 billion. That is one heck of a return on investment. Even if it is the Portland Trail Blazers. I know they haven't been very good in the past couple of years, but Dame Dollar back. They got some guys on that squad now. So I know we're not going to see Dame Dollar next year, but the following year, I think you're going to see the Blazers really jumping back into the mix. I think this is going to be another kind of retooling, rebuilding year for those Blazers, but I'm excited to see when Dame Dollar comes back. I think that's going to be epic with him coming home. And man, just how many more teams are going to get sold? This is crazy. And how many more? I mean, these owners, I guess, are seeing that these teams are going for billions of dollars. So, it's tough running an NBA team. There's a lot you got to do with the negotiations and with the players, etc. I'm just glad that the Blazers are staying in Portland. I'd love to see a team go back in Seattle. I really think, just my own personal opinion, I really believe that someone needs to buy the Memphis Grizzlies, because I think you can get the Memphis Grizzlies for about $3 billion. So you might be able to get them on the cheap. I think they need to take the Memphis Grizzlies and move them back to Seattle. Memphis, not the greatest basketball town, but I still would love to see a team in Seattle at some point in time, because I know the Supersonics name and everything is locked into the Seattle, into the city of Seattle. But Blazers, man, $4 billion. We'll see what that does. This new investor bringing in some fresh new money. So we'll see we'll see how this team reacts to that. We'll see if this new ownership group does anything differently than the previous ones. I know Paul Allen, who purchased it in '88, passed away I think it was 7 years ago in 2018 from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I know in the will he wanted the team sold, so it just took a little bit of time. But here we go, the $1 billion Blazers. Whew, man, makes you wish you saved your pennies back in the day and maybe bought an NBA team on the cheap. Could have got it for a few $1 million, and then next thing you know, boom. So it's crazy, guys. It's crazy how much some of these teams are going for. It's crazy the money going around in the NBA, and this is going to segue into the schedule. And the biggest thing about the schedule is the TV schedule. So I know a lot of things have been negotiated in TV. I know that, man, it's going to be rough this year not having the NBA on TNT. Lots of streaming stuff now. So now you have to buy all these different streaming apps just to watch what you want to watch. So that's going to be interesting to navigate that. But we do have some key dates we're going to get into here. Tip off there October 21st, and that's just around the corner, guys. It's crazy. It is not that far away. They're going to have stuff on Prime now. And again, all these things are going to be, you can probably jump on the streaming apps and get them. The Emirates Cup and Emirates NBA Cup there, October 31st, so 10 days later. And then, of course, you got your Christmas Day games, which I hope the NFL kind of stops doing the NFL games on Christmas. Look, I love me some NFL too, but the NBA, that's their day. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, NFL, you got enough money. Just relax. And the NBA's got enough money too. I mean, I know we're arguing about $1 billion plus entities, but Christmas Day is for the NBA, and it rhymes, so that's what it needs to be. So we got Rivals Week going on there, All-Star, February 13th, 2026, which is going to be in Los Angeles. Then you got the play-in tournament, April 14th, the playoffs, and then back to June, the NBA Finals, still in June of next year. It seems like a long season, but it is. 82 games. The NBA does not mess around with their games. So, but I found this to be interesting here, and I'm going to show you this here. Here's some key numbers here. The most national TV games this year. The Thunder are going to have 34, Lakers 34, Warriors. The woeful Warriors right now with an aging babyface assassin, Steph Curry. They're getting 34 national TV games. I found that very, very interesting. Excuse me. It looks like Steph Curry can still pull them in. My Knicks, 34 games, which I like. T-Wolves and Rockets rounding out the top teams getting national televised games. Very surprised that there's a bunch of teams missing from this. You talking about the Clippers. I look at Orlando, up and coming. They should be up there. I don't know why they're not. The Boston Celtics, this whole Jason Tatum thing, I think that's affecting them now too. So I'm surprised that they're not nationally televised as much as they should be. No real Midwest teams. So you talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, a 60-win team from last year, not worthy of a bunch of national televised games. Very, very interesting. So excited about the season. Excited about some of these different matchups because you got some new player, some old faces and some new places. Excuse me, I couldn't get that for a second. Old faces and new places when you talk about Kevin Durant, Desmond Bain. So we got some guys, Jordan Poole. We got some guys in some new places there. And then, of course, we got that rookie class that just came in this year, too. We're excited to see because, of course, the Cooper Flag sweepstakes was won by Dallas. And we're going to get into that now. Again, we're going to segue right into the Southwest division. We're going to talk about that here real quick. We got the Grizzlies, the Mavericks, the Pelicans, the Rockets, and the Spurs. So a really good division. Again, that West is loaded. Don't sleep on the East, but yes, the West is loaded. Going through and kind of giving my top 5 in this division was a little difficult because there's some good teams here. Now, what was not difficult was picking number 5, and that's going to be the New Orleans Pelicans. They're going to be last. I think they're going to be probably the worst team in the NBA this year. If it's not them, it might be the Wizards. I think it's going to be a battle for those two. Look, Zion Williamson, he's just never available. He has really never turned into what people thought he was going to be. His first season only played 24 games. Then he played 61. Then he only played 29. Then he played 70. And then he only played 30. So, I mean, he's only played 60-plus games 2 times in his 5-year career. I think we are far enough into this to call him one of the biggest busts in NBA history, period. What do you guys think? I think he is. I mean, to me, the best ability is availability. He's just never available. He is just never healthy. He's never in shape. That team is hurting. I am super shocked that the Pelicans did not try to trade him, although it's still early. They may try to trade him away. But I am surprised that the Pelicans are just like holding on to him and expecting something to happen. So Willie Green, the coach, has a huge task ahead of him this year to not be in the basement. And unfortunately, I think they are. I am prognosticating 18-win season. I think they are just going to go on these massive losing streaks. They are not constructed as a good team. And they got Jordan Poole and Sadiq Bey from the Wizards. They got Kevon Looney, came over and signed with them from the Golden State Warriors. They got Jeremiah Fears, that number 7 pick from Oklahoma. So they got a good rookie, got Zion Williamson, but dude, the rest of this team is just not constructed very well. They are going to be the bottom of the barrel. First things first, Pelicans, I really think you need to change the name. I was never sold on the Pelicans. The whole brand itself just kind of is just eh. It's not sexy. It's not a destination. I don't even know what to say, guys. I mean, it's just they need to change it. New Orleans. I know you can't pull the Jazz because, of course, that's in Utah. But I think New Orleans, you need to do something. I think a rebranding is in order. Get rid of the Pelicans name. It's a dirty bird. I think it's time to do something else. I really do. And let's move on. Yeah, 5th 18 games, bottom of the barrel. Sorry, Pels. Number 4, this was tough because the rest of these teams are really, really good. But I'm going to go Grizzlies. Tomas Vassallo, who replaced their coach from last year, and of course my brain is freezing. Taylor Jenkins. I couldn't remember his name. Good Lord. I was out in the sun this weekend, so my brain sometimes gets I'm a little fried right now. But yeah, Taylor Jenkins fired late into the season. Tomas Vassallo given the gig. Grizzlies, 48-34 last year. Respectable, made the playoffs. But just, they're missing something. I think they're still missing something. And with as deep as the West is, with as hard as the East is, I don't think the Grizzlies are going to have a really good year this year. I got them pegged for 39 wins. I think they're going to fall off. I think they're going to fall off 9-10 wins from last year. I do like Scottie Pippen Jr. I think he showed out in the playoffs. I had a 30-point game against the champion Oklahoma City Thunder. I think he's going to be one heck of a player. I don't know if he's going to be dad because he ain't playing with Jordan. I don't think he's going to be dad. I mean, even though Pippen had Jordan, Pippen was still a bad dude. But Scottie Pippen Jr. turning out to be one heck of a player, and I think he's going to be good. Ty Jerome coming over from Indy. Or I'm sorry, not Indy, Cleveland. They picked up Ty Jerome, new. They got Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in that trade from Orlando. Jaren Jackson Jr. in his 6th year. Man, he's a double-double machine. Averages 22 points a game, almost 6 rebounds a game. But coming off the turf toe injury, which when you don't play on turf, you get turf toe, it's kind of weird. But that's a big deal because you can't play basketball without your feet. So I'm curious to see how this injury is going to linger coming into this year. Is he going to play, 100% healthy? This is one of those injuries, surgery, whatever, that can linger your whole career and mess you up. Because, again, if you can't stop, pivot, that's going to mess you up. I do like Jaren Jackson Jr. He just signed that 5-year, $240 million contract in the offseason. So they got him locked up. He's a heck of a ball player, double-double machine, a heck of a defensive player too, man. He is in tops, always up there for defensive player of the year. I think he should have went somewhere else. Memphis, I'm not sold on Memphis right now. I am really nervous on the way this team kind of limped out of last year, and I think is going to limp into this year. You got Zach Edey on there too, that Purdue 2nd-year player. He had a decent year, but let's see here, development-wise, what's going to happen to him going into his 2nd year? Is he going to start doing more? Because they're going to need it from him. They're going to need some points from him. They're going to need him to protect the paint. The West is tall, so he's going to need to deal with a lot of big bodies down low. So can Zach Edey handle that? And my biggest question marks on this Memphis Grizzlies team, which I hate even saying it because this dude is so electric, but Ja Morant, man, he's in my top 5 of guys like I would pay to go watch, but the problem is you don't know if you're going to see him when you go. Over 99 games he's been injured. He's been suspended 33 games. So the injury bug bit him last year with his hip. He didn't finish the playoffs. He averages over 23 points a game, almost 5 rebounds, 7 assists. I mean, he is that dude. He is so electric to watch. He is fun to watch. He is a heck of a basketball player, but the injuries, questions, you got to be available, man. You got to lead your team. You got to be the leader. He is the leader of that team and needs to be. and just hasn't done it. And then the off drama, the off court drama. Is that over? He talked about maturing last year, and doing some of the right things. He was a little bit better, but still not seeing the growth. I'm of that era where I watched Kobe Bryant, and I use him as an example. Kobe Bryant got into some trouble, some bad trouble, when he was younger. There in Denver, got a charge, had to go to court, the whole thing. I mean, it was a big deal. It was a big deal. But Kobe Bryant could have just wrapped it up, and he could have went down the wrong path, but he didn't. He developed the Mamba mentality, and next thing you know, he turned into one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He's up there in my I'd say top 5, top 7. It depends where I start placing guys, but can Ja Morant get past all this hoodlum shit, excuse my language, and become a better basketball player and focus on being great? Because he has the tools, he has the energy, he has everything that you want in a basketball player, but just I need to see some heart. This is the same thing with Anthony Edwards over in the Wolves with the T-Wolves, man. It's like, man, you have the tools to be great. People talk you up. They puff their chests out when they talk about you, but then you got to put the work in. You got to do the extra effort. You got to be the leader of your team, because you guys are the faces of the franchise. Ja Morant is the face of the Memphis Grizzlies. So it is time for him to be the face, deal with it, get in the gym, get healthy, and just get out there and play some ball, man, and leave the off-court drama stuff. It's time to grow up a little bit, man. So, but I have the Grizzlies. I don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening at all, unfortunately. I don't understand. And yeah, I mean, I got them 4th. It's unfortunate, 39 wins. I don't see the Grizzlies stepping up. I see them falling back. Memphis, I think it's time. You should have moved on from Ja. I really think it's time. Number 3, and this was a tough one too, because there's some good teams in this Southwest Division, man. This was tough. The Dallas Mavericks. I got them number 3 right now. They were 39 and 43 last year. I got them a little bit better. I got them at 43 wins this year. Jason Kidd's going to have an interesting year to navigate. Kyrie Irving, January, February, maybe looking to come back from that torn ACL. I know he's not going to rush, so that's if you get him back at all. Kyrie Irving's one of those guys where if he's got something where he's like steadfast, like, hey, if I'm not healthy, I'm not playing, he may not even play the whole year. So it'd be interesting to see how much Kyrie develops and where this team is at when he starts getting healthy. If they're in the mix, he'll probably come back and jump in the team. If they're not, and they're really doing bad, he may sit out the whole year and then come back next year. So it'd be interesting to see what happens to Kyrie Irving. And then you got Anthony Davis, Mr. Glass. Top 10 NBA talent, one of the best big men to play in this game. When he's on, he's on. But man, if a stiff wind comes out of the north and blows on him, he falls down and breaks something. So can Anthony Davis stay healthy for the year? Averages over 25 points a game, almost 12 rebounds a game. He is a monster when he's on. But he only played 9 games last year for Dallas. He was hurt most of the year. Came in kind of towards the end. So tons of questions. But I can't trust him. I still don't trust Anthony Davis to make it a year without something going down. And then you got Klay Thompson. I love me some Klay. I would have loved to see him in New York. But does he have any legs left? He's in his 12th year now. If this team is losing, does he go in there and go request a trade? Does he want to go back home to Golden State? Does he want to go to another team? But I got questions on Clay. Which Clay are we going to see? And then it all comes down to Cooper Flag, the number 1 draft pick, after Dallas's debacle last year with trading away Luka Doncic, which still blows everybody's mind. I think every time people talk about it and they look back at it, they scratch their heads and go, you did what? And you got what for it? Crazy. But because the NBA is not rigged or anything, especially with this lotto process, but it just so happens that Nico Collins rubbed some kind of horseshoe and that number 1 draft pick fell into their lap. So they win the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays, how he responds to the NBA game with the speed and the physicality of the game. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. And what support he's going to have around him. And that's where I get nervous because, I know he's got Kidd, who is an excellent coach. I think they're going to really kind of watch Flag and his development. But again, Kyrie's hurt. Anthony Davis is suspect, street clothes. And Clay getting older. So, who will Cooper Flag use and mentor? Who's going to mentor him and kind of bring him along in the NBA? So I know he was touted. Look, when he went to the Olympics and got invited to Olympics to play, and the NBA players were excited about how well he plays. So we'll see what he does next year. But I only have him at 43 wins. I think they have a chance at getting the playoffs, but again, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, those guys need to be healthy and playing good basketball, especially in the West. I don't know. Questions? Let me know what you guys think. And this is where I got into the second one, is going to be the San Antonio Spurs. Guys, this is one of the best teams on paper right now that is out there. I am super excited to watch this team, man. Mitch Johnson, the first, I guess it's his second year. He took over for Popovich, which is weird to have a San Antonio Spurs team with no Greg Popovich. But the Spurs were 34-48 last year. I got them almost cracking 50 wins. I got them at 49 wins. I think the San Antonio Spurs, knock on wood, as long as everybody's healthy, is going to make a lot of noise in the NBA this year. Victor Wembanyama, almost over 24 points a game, 11 rebounds a game. The Parisian Pillar. Look, I'm trying to get a new nickname from out there because just Wemby is boring. He's not a boring dude. Parisian Pillar. I like it. Let's try to sell it out there, guys. Let's try to get him a new nickname. But he had that blood clot in his right shoulder, a little deep vein thrombosis. He's got the okay to resume basketball activities. So hopefully this is behind him and he can move forward with his career, which he was a rookie of the year. Then you had Stephen Castle, who was the rookie of the year last year, averages almost 15 points a game. I want to see him and how his game progresses. I'd like him to inch closer to that 20-point a game average, and I think he can. He has the tools. I'm pretty excited about him this year. And then De'Aaron Fox. He broke his pinky finger last year, or messed his pinky finger up. So hopefully the pinky finger is feeling better, De'Aaron, but he signed that 4-year, $229 million extension with the Spurs. So Wembanyama, Fox, Castle, and then you sprinkle in a little Dylan Harper. They got that point guard out of Rutgers. Now that Chris Paul has moved on, this kid, I think he's going to be another Spurs rookie of the year. I would not be surprised to see the Spurs have 3 rookies of the year 3 years in a row. So I really like Dylan Harper. I would have loved to see Chris Paul stay in San Antonio. I think this kid behind Chris Paul would have learned a lot. But, man, this is going to be an exciting team. This is going to be a team to watch. And they're going to make some noise. Knock on wood. Again, they all stay healthy with De'Aaron Fox And Victor Wembanyama, if he can take that step forward and be the alien that they say he is, watch out for the San Antonio Spurs making noise in that West. And then my number one in this Southwest Division is the Houston Rockets right now. They are just they're my favorites to really give Oklahoma City a run for their money. Amen Thompson, I think he is a superstar in the making. I'm glad they kept him there. He averaged only about 14 points a game with a little over 8 rebounds a game, but I think he is going to take his game to the next level this year. Pairing him with Kevin Durant, watch out. I think that is going to be the dynamic duo, but you still have Fred VanVleet on there, so you got experience. He's won a chip before in Toronto. Jabari Smith Jr., lots of talent. Steven Adams doesn't do a lot in the stat line, but Steven Adams is that guy you want to go into war with, man. If you get into a bar fight, you need Steven Adams. He's that guy that will go to war with you, and he's got your back, which I like. And then their young all-star, Alfred Sagun, only 23 years, averaging over 19 points a game, 10 rebounds, so averaging a double-double at 23. All-star already. He's only going to get better. So you have him, you have Amen Thompson, then you throw in 17-year vet Kevin Durant, who I know he's 37. He's not spring chicken anymore, but I think Kevin Durant knows this is kind of like his last chance. And I think he knows that. You know, Father Time is still undefeated. I don't care how long LeBron James is playing for. He drank the same water Tom Brady did. They did something, and they sold their soul to whoever, so they can play this game and these games for a very long time. But that's an aberration. Most guys don't last that long. So Kevin Durant, I think Kevin Durant knows that this is his best shot at getting a chip. This is a good young Rockets team. They got some vets sprinkled around with him and VanVleet and Adams. But, man, this team is going to be exciting. They won 52 games last year, 52-30. I think they're the same. I think they're going to win 52 games this year. I think they're going to be second, third in the West again. Ime Udoka is a heck of a coach. And now you just get Kevin Durant, just a points monster dropped in your lap who can give you 36 points a game. He averages 26.6 points a game last year. And that was for a terrible Suns team. He is a mercenary. He's points for hire. I think that's one of the things that drives me nuts about Kevin Durant is the talent is always there. The scoring, he can score from anywhere on the court. Again, there was just something, he just didn't want to be the leadership role guy. And, there was just always something missing, the extras. There wasn't anything really missing in his game, but some of the other stuff court-wise, he could just never lead a team over the hump. I know he won a couple of chips with Golden State, but, the knock on that is, he jumped on Steph Curry's back and won with Golden State. He was integral in those victories in the Golden State Warriors dynasty, but, he didn't win it with himself. He had a lot of help. But this Houston Rockets team, I think if Kevin Durant can lead these guys to even the finals, I think that will speak volumes for his career. And just watch out because this team is going to be dangerous. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch. But they are my number one team in this Southwest Division, and I got them really as one of the top 3 or 4 teams to give Oklahoma City a run for their money. So that was the Pelicans number 5, Memphis number 4, Mavericks number 3, Spurs number 2, Rockets number 1. So guys, let me know what you think. That's the Southwest Division, breaking that down a little bit here. I'm very excited to see these teams play. I'm super excited with that Spurs and that Rockets team. I think that is going to be a lot of fun to watch. And we talked about the national TV. I'm surprised the Rockets and the Spurs weren't up there too, because I really think those two teams are going to be dangerous in that Western Conference this year. So good stuff going on here, guys. Not a lot else going on in the NBA, but that's okay. We're still going to talk about it. We are still here for it. I do have another little programming note I want to drop, guys. I have my other show will be starting here very, very soon. So hold on, where am I here? We're going to take that out there. Boom. Sideline Savant. So, guys, if you love fantasy football, I do a fantasy football podcast also. That'll be starting in another week or so. So keep your eyes open on the Boom Broadcasting Network. Again, that's hosted by myself, Jason, a.k.a. New York. So if you like fantasy football, join in, jump on. If you want to talk about fantasy football, again, anybody wants to jump on here and talk with me and be a guest, hit me up, man. I'm always looking for new people to talk to, someone to come and hang out with me and just talk sports and have a lot of fun. So Sideline Savants, fantasy football. I can't wait for that. We got the NBA's coming up here pretty soon too. Guys, I love this time of year. August, fall's not too far around the corner here. Kids are going back to school. So it's a lot of excitement this time of year. College football starting to rev up here pretty soon. So stay tuned to the Boom Broadcasting Network, because there's going to be a ton of content just flooding you guys here pretty soon here, because there's just going to be a lot going on. So we appreciate you. Again, hit me up, like and subscribe. Guys, if you got any comments or questions, drop me a line, man. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you joining me today. Again, peace. I'll see you next week.